Welcome into our ESPN FC studios. We have Stevie Nicol, Gabriele Marcotti and Stuart Robson here to look ahead to the final in the Champions League between Manchester City and Inter. Obviously, City coming into this one as favourites, but there has been a lot of talk about Inter's approach and what they're going to have to do to stop this free-scoring Manchester City side. Gab Marcotti, how are Inter going to approach this game?
Well, I think what they need to do, obviously, they're going to need Onana to have a shutdown game, which may or may not happen. That's beyond Inzaghi's control. I think two areas that they're going to try to exploit is one, do a good job in getting out of their own area in transition, something Real Madrid failed to do. They've got midfielders like Çalhanoğlu, Barella, Mkhitaryan, Brozovic, obviously, who can do that. It's very difficult against City's press, but they can't sit and defend the whole time because City will cut them open eventually. The other thing, exploit set pieces. You've got plenty of size with Dzeko, Acerbi, Bastoni. That can be another way in.
What are your thoughts on it, Robbo, and how it's going to go? And those who are doubting Inter?
Well, what they have to do, and partly Gabby is absolutely right, but they've also got to challenge Rodri and John Stones, because they were the key players against Real Madrid. Real Madrid dropped too deep. Their midfield players dropped too deep to mark Gundogan and Kevin De Bruyne. And Rodri and John Stones, who was stepping up from centre-half to play midfield, they had the run of the park. So they had three players with Kroos in front of Haaland and two central defenders. So they were going to be outnumbered somewhere else, and it was in that midfield area. Inter, with Barella maybe one side and Mkhitaryan the other side, have to go and press, I think, Rodri and Stones and stop them playing and stop them dictating the pace of the game. If you have to, let it go out to Akanji, if Akanji's the left back, because he's the weaker player on the ball coming out from the back. So that has to be one game plan, and they have to be a threat on the counter-attack. Even if it's Lukaku coming on as a substitute in the second half, as we've seen him do so many times, that's the pace down the side. We've seen him do it against Man City when he was playing for, I think it was for Everton. So he can do it. If he's at top form, Lukaku can be a threat with Martinez later on in the game.
Is it Pep and City's time, do you think, this year, Stevie?
Well, everything's pointing towards it, and there's no question that they are huge favourites. But I'm with the rest of the boys. You know, Inter have to have a position where they're going to defend, but then as soon as City enter that position, then they have to close the ball, something that Real Madrid didn't do. They didn't go and attempt to win the ball in the areas they should have.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.